Thank you for listening to my final on faith and philosophy. I had the pleasure of interviewing anyone in an important religious position. I chose a close friend, Angela, who has been near and dear to me for the past 5 years. She has been pursuing sisterhood for the past 2 years. She is a member from the Catholic Church and is very religious. My reasoning behind this decision was because I myself am a Catholic, and to have an interview with someone on the path to be a sister is a very rare opportunity. I found it interesting how many of the ideas Professor McCoy had taught us had overlapped into the to-be sister's opinion as well. The church is backed by reason, and sister is from the church, so this all makes sense to me. In conclusion, Angela helped me conduct a very nice interview. After going through this class, I have definitely broadened my understanding of many philosophies, and am able to conduct myself in a discussion of philosophy. This is all thanks to Professor McCoy and those who had helped make class great through our amazing discussions. Thank you.
For my first question I have, how can God have a plan and will for us but still allow us to have free will?
Well, I wouldn't say that's a direct answer, and it's going to be different for all the sisters here, but God works in ways we don't understand. So God's plan for us is how we can become our best selves. So for each of us, it's going to be something different, but we want to best serve our purpose. God will never make us do anything. It all has to be from ourselves.
I wasn't sure how there can be a plan and then us still have free will. So sister, how can we help follow God's plan?
Well, we can pray and listen. We often see something and wonder where God is, and then the door opens up and there's always going to be something greater than we could ever imagine. God is mysterious, but by praying and going to church, then we perhaps can start to understand.
Okay, thank you. Paul says in the book of Romans that the evil Pharaoh was raised up to show how God can overcome evil. Does this mean that the Pharaoh is predestined to be evil, or I don't understand?
Well, I'm not sure whether or not that's in the scripture just like that, but what I do know is that God does not intend to make anyone bad, because we're all born the same with original sin and then hopefully baptized and washed that away. So no one is born with sin. But the Pharaoh was not predestined to be evil. The Pharaoh did not turn out to make some evil decisions, and God in the power of good overcame that evil, but no, God did not make the Pharaoh evil.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for clearing that up. I'm sure you know John 3:16 and how God sent Jesus down to die for us on the cross. Does that actually mean that we were predestined to be saved? I kind of feel like this is implying that we were all born evil and that we needed some good.
Well, we are born with sin from Adam and Eve when they disobeyed God. But we have original sin, which at the time there was a lot more sinning, and not many were baptized, as well as those who had died before Jesus' time were waiting at the gates of heaven. God had to send Jesus to open them up and defeat the devil.
Okay, thank you. That clears it up a lot. My next question is, it talks about James 1:13. It says, "Let no one say when he is tempted, I am being tempted by God, for God cannot be tempted by evil, and he himself does not tempt anyone." Does this passage mean that God will have a good or bad influence?
Can you read that again?
Okay, I'm sorry. In James 1:13, it says, "Let no one say when he is tempted, I am being tempted by God, for God cannot be tempted by evil, and he himself does not tempt anyone." What I want to know is, does this passage mean that God will have no influence, a good or bad influence, or just a bad or good influence?
This is just saying how God is not capable of being tempted. The question of does God have good or bad influences? Yes, God does have good influences. Although out the Bible, we can see that God is doing great things, and we should take these actions and strive towards them. It is evil, though, that tempts us to make bad decisions.
Scripture talking about all the good, like Jesus restoring sight to the blind and helping the crippled walk. Can a good influence be considered a violation of free will? I feel like an influence and free will don't really go hand in hand. I feel like there's a little bit of predestination, such as Jesus wanting a certain path for us, so he's going to lead us down towards it. Can you explain that further for me?
No, in the same sense as someone can try and talk to you into doing something or lead you to do something, but it's ultimately up to you to make the choices, not someone else.
All right.
Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the interview. to-be sister Angela is a very holy and religious woman, and it was very intriguing and interesting to be able to pick her brain. Thank you.